Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of The Sort of Life. They're talking about fresh food in a particular area of Boston.
Like farmers markets.
Yeah, and okay, this this is how you know the United States has lost common sense. There are people who do not know how to cook fresh vegetables. They actually have to teach people how to cook fresh vegetables. I'm sorry, but that's insane that you have to teach an adult, mind you. I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about adults. You
Well,
have
there
to,
are some that I don't know how to cook, like collard greens
but generally speaking, though,
things.
there are those who know how to cook. But these people, they don't even know what the fresh vegetables are. But anyway,
Well, a tomato,
yeah.
maybe.
So I want to talk about Ferguson, Missouri. I know I haven't talked about it yet. I know a lot of people are going to get pissed off at me, but, hey, this is how I feel about what happened in Ferguson. There was a cop, and, look, I'm not the biggest supporter of the police by any stretch of the imagination. Um, Not even close. I support our local police, but we only have a couple of cops in our
Well,
town.
Ferguson ain't the greatest area to live in either.
Ferguson, now, you have this punk kid, this street thug, who attacks a cop. I don't care who he was attacking. He could have been attacking you. Well, because he's black and he lives in a bad neighborhood, or he's in a bad neighborhood, he attacks you, and therefore it's your fault.
No, it ain't.
He's a street thug. He attacked somebody. All that cop did was defend himself. If he would have come up and tried to attack one of us, I would have defended both of us. Okay? I don't care what color his skin is. Okay? I don't care if he's rich or poor. What I care about is my wife's safety, my safety, and I'm sick and tired of these street thugs.
But I know from living in that near that area, not to stay out of Ferguson. It's not a good. Never was a good area.
Now, see, right
St.
there,
Louis.
you have somebody who
I
knows
live right
about it.
across the river from St. Louis too.
So you have somebody right over here, my wife, who knows about the area. Um,
Stays the hell out of there.
I remember I was in college. I was going to St. Philip's College at the time, and I was waiting for the bus to go home, and these guys, these gangbanger types, they were walking down the sidewalk. No white boy needs to be in this neighborhood.
Fuck you.
Hey, I have every right to be in this neighborhood. I'm going to school. What are you doing? Doing drugs?
Yeah.
You're not working,
I'm a rich
obviously.
gangbanger.
Yeah, you're obviously not working. You're walking around.
You're a loser.
Yeah. So I'm sick and tired of punks getting all this sympathy. Yeah, I am tired of it.
Sympathy my ass.
You know what happened in Florida? That was nothing but a street punk gangbang wannabe. Maybe he even was a gangbanger. And somebody defended himself against being attacked, and he happened to kill the guy. I'm sorry
Tough
that,
fucking shit.
yeah, I'm sorry the guy got killed. I'm sorry in Ferguson the guy got killed. But, I'm not going to be sympathetic toward a bunch of street thugs. I've lived in enough places in my life. I've seen enough in my life. I'm not going to be sympathetic to these people. Now, this was long before we lived here. There used to be sort of a gang. Well, I guess it was a gang. They were called the Troy Boys. My understanding is one is still in prison in Massachusetts. They committed some murders. They did some really bad things. One of them lived on the street right over here. Now, there were people who, from people I've talked to, I've listened to, and the things I've read, there are people who weren't real fond of guns, but because of the Troy boys, they went out and got a gun. There was one guy, um, his dad did not, he was a kid at the time, his dad didn't want him around the guns, but once the Troy boys started messing around, he told him where his gun was and he taught him how to use it. Okay? If the Troy boys were still here, I would be taking my wife out frequently to make sure she could hit her target. I mean, she can hit her target, but I want her to be fast. I don't want her to have to pick it up. Oh, what do I do? Oh, I have to do that right there. I don't want her to do that. I don't want that, and I don't think she'd do it anyway. I think I mean, she's smart. She would just, click that off. There we go, and put around in the chamber.
And a lot of people, even the bullet may not hit them, but even if it's coming in their direction, it scares the shit out of them.
Yeah. I mean, you point this at somebody, like I'm pointing it at the camera right now. Oh, okay, now I know there's some idiots in King. They're gonna, oh, he's threatening us. Oh no. Oh, no, I'm not. You freaking idiots. I mean, you guys are nuts, man. You're actually,
Part of the problem.
yeah, part of the problem. You're the guys who are defending this punk. Um,
They're stupid assholes to do.
yeah, and I'm tired of it. Now, let me give you an example of something, okay? There was somebody I knew back in San Antonio. Her nephew and his little friend, they were murdered. They were shot in the back by a cop, off-duty cop. He was like 20-year veteran. He knew better. I'm not going to sit here and say those kids were,
Angels.
yeah, they weren't angels. They didn't deserve to die that way. Okay? Because there was no, he and his son were sitting in wait on top of their garage. Okay? That's different. The cop in Ferguson, he wasn't sitting lying in wait. The guy actually went or at least attempted to attack the cop in Ferguson. And the cop just pulls his gun. And so my sympathy there is for the cop, believe it or not. I know I'm not the biggest fan of the police, but in this instance, now the situation in San Antonio, off-duty cop, laid in wait with his son, no violence or threat of violence was there from those two kids. And they were shot in the back when they were trying to run away. Okay, that is wrong. And what happened to the cop? He got off scot-free. I don't know if he's retired or what by now, but he stayed on the force.
But the whole thing in Ferguson is a black versus white issue.
Yeah, it is,
Great.
exactly. And I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm not sitting here. How do you say? I mean, as a general rule, I question everything the police do, and I'm not standing or sitting here being a big time supporter of the cop. I'm just saying that what he did, he had every legitimate right to do. He defended himself against a street thug that tried to attack him, or maybe even attacked him. And that's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Now, I've seen police do bad. Okay, remember, I've lived on 3 continents and more countries than that. I've seen the police shoot people just because they were having a bad day.
They're pissed off.
Yeah, they were just pissed off. They just shot people. And there wasn't a blanking thing you could do about it. Not unless you wanted the same thing, or you wanted to wind up disappeared in some deep, dark, dank Spanish prison, which, believe me, you didn't want to do. So, I've seen far worse than most Americans will ever see. But that's all I have to say on the Ferguson issue. Thank you. Goodbye.